Receive. For most people, that word is harder than it sounds. Giving is easy. Giving feels safe, generous, virtuous, in control. When you give, you are the one deciding what leaves your hands. But receiving requires you to be open, to be seen wanting something, to trust that what arrives is not accompanied by a hidden cost, to believe, genuinely, without bracing, that good things are allowed to come to you. And for a lot of people, that last part is where it breaks down. Not because they do not want good things, but because somewhere along the way they learned, through disappointment, through loss, through love that came with conditions, that wanting something and then not getting it is a specific kind of pain worth protecting against. So they stopped asking, stopped hoping too loudly, stopped letting themselves want things all the way, and called it being realistic. But here is what that protection is costing. A closed hand cannot receive anything, a guarded heart cannot be filled, and a life lived at arm's length from its own desires is not a protected life. It is a half-lived one. Today, you practice the hardest thing, not wanting more, not working harder, opening. Place your hands in your lap, palms facing upward. This is the physical posture of someone who has decided to receive. Hold it, feel what it asks of you, and speak today as the person who has finally made peace with being given to. Each affirmation is an act of opening, a small, deliberate loosening of the grip. Read slowly. Notice where you feel resistance. That is exactly where the work is happening. I am open to receiving, fully, without guilt, without deflecting, without immediately asking what it is going to cost me. I release the habit of turning every incoming good thing into a transaction I need to balance before I am allowed to enjoy it. Receiving gracefully is not weakness. It is the completion of a cycle, the inhale that follows the exhale, the arrival that follows the setting out. I choose to accept a compliment without redirecting it, a kindness without questioning the motive, a gift without calculating whether I deserve it. I release the overgiving that has kept me permanently in the position of the one who provides, never the one who is provided for. I am allowed to need things. I am allowed to ask for help. I am allowed to let other people carry something for me without it meaning I have failed. Not self-sufficient to the point of isolation, not strong to the point of untouchable, open, genuinely, vulnerably, courageously open. I release the belief that receiving puts me in debt, that every kindness extended to me carries an invoice I have not yet been handed. Gratitude is not enough on its own. Gratitude paired with genuine receptivity, with the willingness to actually take in what is being offered, is what completes the exchange. I choose to let love in, not the performance of letting love in, not the smile and the thank you, but the actual, physical, heart-level experience of being given to and staying open for it. I release the pattern of preemptive self-sufficiency, of solving every problem before anyone has the chance to offer help, so that needing no one becomes my protection. I am worthy of abundance that arrives without effort on my part, of gifts, of windfalls, of things that come simply because I am open and in the right place. I release the exhaustion of being the person who gives everything and then wonders why they feel empty. And I begin the practice of allowing the cup to be filled as readily as it is poured out. I choose to receive rest without earning it first, joy without scheduling it last, and peace without resolving every outstanding thing before permitting myself to feel it. I release the guilt of receiving more than I expected, the reflex to give it back, pass it on, or minimize it before I have even had the chance to hold it. I am someone who knows how to receive, who says thank you and means it, who holds the gift without immediately looking for who else might need it more. I release every story that told me my role was to give, support, sustain, and provide, and that receiving was for people who had not yet learned to stand on their own. Receiving is an act of trust in the person giving, trust in the universe providing, trust in myself to hold what arrives without sabotaging it. I choose to be as generous with myself as I have been with everyone else, to give myself the same quality of attention, care, and provision I have freely extended outward. I release the small, apologetic version of asking, the one that prefaces every request with, "I know this is a lot, or you probably cannot, but..." And I ask clearly, directly, without the cushioning. I am open to receiving love that does not require anything from me in return except my presence. I release the hypervigilance around good things, the waiting for the catch, the scanning for the price, the bracing for the moment the good news is revised. I choose to receive the life I have been building, to step into it fully, inhabit it completely, and stop hovering at the edge of my own good fortune as though I do not quite trust it to hold me. I release the idea that I am not yet ready to receive the big things, that I need to do more work, heal more wounds, become more deserving before the good stuff is permitted to arrive. I am a complete and worthy recipient of every good thing that is already moving in my direction. I do not need to do anything else to qualify. I release the protective numbness, the way I have learned not to want things too much, not to hope too hard, not to let myself feel the full height of anticipation in case the fall is steep. I choose openness over armor, not naively, not recklessly, but with the informed, eyes-open courage of someone who has decided that a full life is worth the vulnerability it requires. I release the half-receiving, the nodding and smiling while something inside remains at a safe, non-committal distance from the thing being offered. I am practicing the art of receiving. And like all arts, it improves with repetition, with intention, and with the decision to keep showing up for it even when the old reflexes say to step back. My heart is open. My hands are open. My life is open. What is meant for me is welcome here, all of it, without reservation, without conditions, without a single reason to wait. Keep your palms facing upward. This is not a metaphor right now. It is an instruction. The body knows what the mind sometimes forgets. From this posture of genuine openness, speak what you are now ready to receive. I manifest a heart so open and so unguarded that everything meant for me finds me without obstruction. I manifest the specific experience of receiving something so perfectly timed and so precisely right that my only possible response is complete and undefended gratitude. I manifest complete freedom from the over-giving cycle, from the depletion that follows years of pouring out without ever truly allowing the filling. I manifest a life in which I am given to as generously as I have given, where the exchange is balanced, the reciprocity is real, and I am no longer always the one holding the empty vessel. I manifest the ability to say yes, to help, to love, to opportunities, to kindness, without the immediate internal calculation of what it is going to require of me. I manifest complete healing from the experiences that taught me receiving was dangerous, that good things came with hidden prices and open hands got hurt. I manifest a relationship with abundance so receptive and so unblocked that what is sent to me arrives without interference from my own resistance. I manifest the deep, physical experience of being genuinely cared for, of having someone show up for me the way I have spent my life showing up for others. I manifest freedom from the guilt of receiving, from the internal accounting that insists every incoming good thing must be earned, matched, or immediately redirected to someone more deserving. I manifest a level of self-care so consistent and so ungilted that filling my own cup before pouring from it becomes the most natural thing I do. I manifest that the people in my life become increasingly good at giving me what I need, not because I have lowered my standards, but because I have finally become willing to name what those needs are. I manifest complete release from the protective distance I have kept between myself and my own good fortune, the half step back, the not quite letting it land habit that has been quietly limiting what I allow myself to have. I manifest financial receipts so consistent and so unblocked that money flows to me with the same ease I have always allowed it to flow through me. I manifest love that arrives without a catch, genuine, freely given, uncomplicated by agenda or condition. And I receive it without flinching, without testing it, without waiting for it to prove itself before I let it in. I manifest a body that knows how to receive rest, that accepts stillness without guilt, that allows healing without rushing past it, that lets nourishment in without apology. I manifest the specific experience of being surprised by generosity, of receiving something I did not ask for, did not engineer, and did not see coming, and letting it land completely. I manifest that every door I have been standing outside of, hands in pockets, waiting for a different kind of invitation, simply opens, and I walk through it with my whole self. I manifest a gratitude practice so genuine and so rooted in actual receiving that it changes the quality of everything I attract going forward. I manifest freedom from the performance of not needing anything, from the independence that has become indistinguishable from loneliness in its most sophisticated form. I manifest that receiving becomes as natural to me as breathing, automatic, unguilted, and done with the full participation of my body, my heart, and my mind. I manifest the specific kindness I have been most hungry for, arriving through a person, a moment, or a circumstance I could not have manufactured, and I receive it without deflecting a single part of it. I manifest complete openness to being known, to letting the people in my life see what I actually need and respond to it, rather than to the self-sufficient version I have been performing. I manifest a season so full of incoming good things that I am kept busy with nothing but the practice of receiving them gracefully and gratefully. I manifest the healing that comes specifically from being given to, from the particular medicine of allowing someone to show up for me the way I have always shown up for everyone else. I manifest that the universe's generosity toward me is no longer filtered through my own belief that I do not quite deserve it before it arrives. I manifest complete release from every version of receiving that felt like loss of control, and the arrival of the version that feels like trust, like flow, like the most natural thing in the world. I manifest that my open hands become the most powerful thing about me, that the willingness to receive creates a field of abundance that giving alone could never have generated. I manifest that everything I have been working toward, the love, the abundance, the recognition, the rest, arrives now in full into hands that are finally open enough to hold it. I manifest that this session marks the moment I stopped blocking my own good, that today is the day the door between me and everything I deserve swings open and stays open. I manifest a life lived in full receipt of everything it has to offer, the beauty, the love, the abundance, the joy, and the peace, received completely, held gratefully, and shared freely from a place of genuine overflow. If this session found the part of you that has been giving and giving and giving, and rarely, truly, letting anything in, subscribe. Come back every day. Opening is a practice. It does not happen once. It is chosen again and again until it becomes who you are. Like this video. Every like is an act of giving this session to someone who needs it, someone who has spent so long being the strong one that they have forgotten what it feels like to be taken care of. In the comments, write one thing you are finally ready to receive. No conditions, no qualifications, no footnotes. Name it, claim it. Let the act of writing it be the first moment of genuine receipt. Share this with the person in your life who gives the most and asks for the least. They may be the one who needs this most, and the least likely to find it on their own. You have spent a long time being very good at giving. Today you practiced something harder, staying open, not deflecting, not calculating, not holding the gift at arm's length until you could be sure it was safe. Just receiving. That is the whole practice, and it changes everything. Go carry open hands into the rest of your day. Notice what arrives when you stop blocking the door. You may be surprised by how much was already waiting to come in.